Have you ever sorted anything by price, high to low, and if so, what was it? Pretty much anything. When I look on eBay, if you price low to high, there's dozens of pages of stuff that's like $1. If you sort high to low, it doesn't take long to sort through the really expensive stuff, and then you get to the stuff you want quicker. Houses. Just to see what I can afford. I once found an actual castle for sale some 20 kilometers from where I live. By doing that, I was looking for a new blender and saw one for $500. I was convinced they couldn't get more expensive than that and wanted to check. Yeah. Who the hell is willing to spend over $2,000 on a freaking blender? Musical instruments, because if you sort low to high, you have to get through pages of accessories and cases and stuff before you find the actual instrument. Also, the cheapest version of most instruments is not worth getting. Second-hand pipe organs are unusual in that they're either priced in the thousands or a few pennies. Depends how much help the seller wants to give you in relocating the thing, as well as condition. Of course, half of them are private owners who want to sell them for what they paid. The other half are builders clearing out a church who just want it gone with as little fuss as possible. Recorders on Amazon. The top result had a 1-star review saying, "It sounds like fart on this freaking 1000 wood recorder." Good recorders are so fucking expensive, especially if you play alto bass. And even if you play it good, everyone laughs at you for playing a children's instrument. Just get a clarinet and stop being bullied. Spoken like a non-clarinetist, more like get a clarinet and keep getting bullied. I'm in the early stages of house hunting. I'll set my upper price limit, then sort high to low. Otherwise, the first 3 pages of results are full of investment opportunities, which is code for the previous owner hasn't done any upkeep since 1962. And we can't figure out where that smell is coming from. A great home that just needs a little love at an incredible price. Must see. Quote. May sound privileged, but usually everything, especially clothing sites, there are usually really good deals in the middle. And it's easier to scroll through the most expensive because the items are larger. Low-high, you may be scrolling through pages of earrings. High-low, you've got pages full of jackets, shirts, pants, and it's usually straight to the point. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I really hate scrolling through pages of earrings or socks and underwear. I just want to see the good shit. Can you not just filter out the earrings, etc.? Or, like, just click on the jackets tab? I find OP's case to hold true for Amazon. Even if you filter, you can sometimes still get a lot of crap included in the results. In those cases, I sort high to low with some type of price cap and then see what I can find. Tools. I don't always buy the most expensive, but I am so done buying the cheapest. I'm young enough that I plan to get a lot of use out of anything, so I want it to last or at least work very well. This table saw is $300. It's garbage and the table isn't even flat. The measurements aren't accurate and the fence isn't square to the blade. This table saw is $2,000 and you'll have it for the next 40 years. It's solid and works beautifully. I grew up with a philosophy to buy cheap, then when it breaks, buy high-end. Used cars. Top-of-the-range versions of cars are very rare where I'm from, so it makes it easier to find the higher trim levels. Sports models when looking for a specific make and model. And I'm talking about sub 10K cars here, not supercars. I almost always do. I want to see the overpriced items and compare them to the mid and low-priced ones. I almost always find something similar for half the price of the most expensive version. If I'm buying tech stuff, e.g. most recently a wireless keyboard, I'll sort price high to low because I'd rather pay a little bit more for a brand I know, trust, can read reviews of, than a cheaper mode. Didn't always do it that way, but it seems to work out as more economical because they last longer. I'll just go on build a PC sales and sort by which links have a comment saying, "This is it, chief." The only thing I've ever done this with was a pillow. Last year, my old man who's bedridden, was complaining about his head and neck overheating. So I went out to find a solution. The most expensive pillow had this special memory foam and built-in gel padding. It was $200. The cheapest was about $10. Negligible because it didn't do what we needed, which was keep his skin cool. I still can't believe I spent that much on a pillow. But it was for someone I love. The crazy thing is, everything I buy for myself, except underwear, I buy second-hand. I prefer to recycle clothing rather than waste resources creating more, and I try never to buy clothing with microfiber either. It's kinder on the earth. Edit. Typo. And, how did he like the pillow? My wife and I bought pillows like this at Ashley Furniture. As someone who has spent his whole life flipping pillows periodically at night to always find the cool side of the pillow, I can tell you they are game changers. I can honestly sometimes sleep entirely through the night because my face is so comfortable that I don't want to get up to pee in the middle of the night. Wanted a decent high-end graphic card, so sorted high to low. The most expensive one ended up being nearly $10,000 United States dollars, which was quite a shock. Those really expensive ones are workstation cards, meant for things like CAD and CGI animation rather than gaming. And let's not forget Bitcoin mining, which is one of the main reasons why the price of graphics cards got driven up. Used to do it on Abe Books. Looking for crazy rare first editions, signed copies and stuff. Could never afford any of that shit. But it was always tantalizing to look. I do this whenever I'm looking for quality in something rather than affordability. It's not too different from sorting by low to high, since I usually end up buying from somewhere in the middle because the highest priced items are usually rips-offs. Restaurants, so I can see what's on the fancy menus. I learned this in my bar management class. Those are anchor items, usually outrageously overpriced items, which subconsciously convince you that other items are more reasonable and encourage you to spend more. A $25 steak seems like a lot, but when they have a $58 steak, it seems like a better deal. Typically anchor items are not even high quality, are their best items if you want a good experience. You don't buy anchor items, you go to a different restaurant that regularly serves that dish. There's another reason for it: expense accounts. Lots of restaurants have an expensive item on the menu, often a steak, that business travelers and people taking clients out for dinner can charge to the company and don't really care what it costs. Within reason. Cat food. You are either giving the best meals to your companion, or experimenting with budget lazy lunch ideas. Great answer. Either way. My brother used to buy gourmet cat food for his cat that you could give to a human and raise no questions. It was slices of beef, with peas and carrots, and gravy, and it genuinely looked good. Some of the canned cat food smells so good even if it looks questionable. I'm not saying I'm surprised by that gourmet dish for cats, but wow, recently got a puppy and got some of the most expensive wet food I could find. Cracked it open and it looked like something my mom would make. I served him and he gobbled it up quick. My GF even said it looked like quality. I thought to myself, what could go wrong, and tasted it myself. I told my GF that if she dumped this in a bowl, added salt and pepper, and heated it up, I would have never known it was dog food. Sounds like your puppy is in a great place with gourmet food. I don't think I would ever try pet food out of curiosity though. That made me chuckle. High-end means like $40 for a bag that feeds 2 cats for several months. What you get is high protein, limited ingredient, not imported, legal for human consumption. My cats like fish, but fish doesn't like the monsieur. Low-end gets you corn pops with artificial fish flavor from China, with the warning, not fit for human consumption. Wear gloves while dispensing. Do not pet your cat if you are pregnant or planning to become pregnant in the next year. Watches. To see what I'm never going to buy. The other reason, if you're about to visit a store to look at something you might buy. Knowing the high end of their offerings lets you know what else you can try on while you're there. I've never had a store refuse to show me the $200,000 piece that they've got in the case. Scotch, my sweet spot is around $150 CAD, but it's fun to check out the $75,000 CAD bottles. I have a Japanese whiskey I bought for $300 as a splurge. And the next time I looked it up, the same bottle had just sold at auction for $12,000. Weirdly, it didn't taste any better then than it did at $300. Butter, laundry detergent. I live the high life. I often do that on real estate sites just to daydream. TBH, most of the super expensive stuff looks so gaudy and lame that I'd almost be embarrassed to live there. Real estate really drives home the point that money doesn't buy taste. Gucci, but I can't even afford the low-price stuff. There's actually a criminal syndicate that formed because of the high cost. I won't go into too much detail on the disgusting initiation into this Gucci gang, but it involves a lil pump. I feel you. I absolutely love a lot of Versace's designs, but I can't justify spending $400 on a t-shirt, and I don't want to buy replica knockoffs either. I have bought expensive clothing before, but only stuff I expect to last for many years or even life. High-end leather jackets, boots and sunglasses, mainly with designs so unique nothing else cheap comes close, or looks or feels tacky when they try to. I'd rather just get the real thing and accept it cost a week's pay if I'm gonna be using it for years. Versace, though, is still beyond what I can consider reasonable with my current earnings, but they're on my shopping hit list if I ever win the lotto, lol. If you're willing and have a good eye for potential fakes, or use a website like Vestiaire, you can find second-hand designer clothes on just about any site that you can sell clothes on. I've gotten multiple cool designer clothes that way. Best was probably an Alexander McQueen hoodie. RRP £300, bought for £80 and was in like new condition. Or a vintage Burberry blazer for £100, when it probably sold originally for closer to £800. On AliExpress when I'm looking for a deal on a larger quantity of something. What I most enjoy is the Eastern Europeans in the comment section complaining about things that cost next to nothing. Their reviews are the only ones I trust. Well, to be fair to them, it might not be nothing. I know what you are getting at, but we are talking things that cost 63 cents with shipping included. Here's a funny tidbit. There was some sort of prohibition on selling sex toys, so for a while people on there were selling a self-defense device called the Stinger that was clearly a bejeweled butt plug. When I was a student, I liked looking through stationery from China. Never ordered because 50 cents was a high price for a pen for me. But yeah, there's a limit to what one can see as pricey. Thanks for the story. That's nice. The creativity of people always amaze me. Yes. During Steam sales there are often hundreds of games that are originally $1.50 that is discounted to 50 cents or something. And most of them are not really worth playing. So I sort from highest price to find large games that are good and get the most out of the sale. Like Divinity Original Sin, as an example. I have done it on Amazon just for fun. Behold, $700 salt and pepper shakers, and $12,000 shower curtains. Completely unremarkable ones. That shit's gotta be a money laundering scheme. In some cases it's algorithmic pricing gone wild. Marketplace sellers with great reviews will sometimes have algorithms that are set the price to what the competitors charge plus 10%. When you get two of these fighting each other, you can get second-hand unremarkable paperbacks priced at $20,000. Camera lenses. If you haven't tried, you will be surprised. Escorts. Okay, but how do you decide between different models? I prefer the Cosworth. I'd love a Cosworth. Those things are killer. But I have a line for homologation race cars. Some clothing websites don't categorize their sales sections if I don't want to scroll through all the pages of cheap accessories and socks. Sorting high to low will show me the actual clothing. But usually I do scroll through all the pages because I online shop when I'm procrastinating. So more pages means I don't have to get back to doing work. Tears of joy. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.